Working.
So
Right.
set up for your YouTube live.
Do people watch the live stream?
I hope not. I've
Well,
watched myself on a live stream at the Capitol and it is fun.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order 6:03 PM. And start by welcoming our newly appointed members, Susan Anderson. Welcome to this really commission. And this is a really perfect day for it to be your first day because we are basically starting from scratch. Because none of us quite, I shouldn't say none of us, many of us don't quite know what our goals were to be. And thought we would all just get on the same page and do a little workshop tonight. So first we will review and approve previous minutes. Did everyone have a chance to look at them? DJ sent them out? Yes.
I motion to approve.
Motion to
Second that.
approve, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. All right, so now time for public input and agenda items submitted online. Nothing was submitted online. So there's nothing to talk about there. Follow up on items from the previous meeting. We were just gonna touch base again about the upcoming events that we were hoping to be at. I do know Saturday, June 20th is the Juneteenth celebration in town. There is a 5K in the morning and it is free entry at Linear all day that day. So my guess is all the stuff will be set up that day outside Linear as usual. So I think it would be good for us to be present at that, what that looks like. I think we still have a little time to think about, and maybe based off our conversation today, that might formulate what we want to do. And then Pride is Saturday, June 27th, noon to 5.
I'm usually at Pride for sure, and I know I will be gone for both
Okay,
family vacation this year.
okay. Does anyone know they're gonna be around and or planning on being at either of these already?
I was at Pride last year. I'm happy to go to either of them if we need coverage.
Same,
As of right now, I don't have any plans yet at that point in time.
same. Great. All right, so once we get, maybe we'll May meeting, because that'll be the last one before it. May meeting, really make that be our focus, is figuring out what that looks like and who can help and all that sort of stuff. Does that sound good? Great. Okay, so now for the bulk of the agenda. I have, because I am who I am, and two of the people in the room know how I am. I have a little worksheet. I appreciate you. Yeah, who I am. To just give us structure as we go through today. My thought was for this, based off of our conversations of what we felt like we needed, is that after today, we would leave with a shared basic statement of what the commission's here to do and 1 to 2 focus areas that will help us, that is like the things we're gonna focus on next. And so in my mind, this isn't gonna be, we're gonna have a whole strategic plan out of this, but more about let's figure out what it is we want to do, where we want to go, and then we can plan deeper work where we would really hone in on what those focus areas are, come up with tactics for those focus areas in future meetings, because an hour is not a lot of time. Does that all sound good? Okay. So, I thought the first thing we could do is talk about what our mandate is based off of the 2 documents you have. So of course, everything started with the resolution 2022-9, and that and the bylaws essentially established us as an advisory commission, advising the commissioners, county commissioners, to promote public health, welfare, security, positive human relations, and dignity in Jefferson County. So when I think social harmony, it's discouraging discrimination. I don't really know what social harmony is. Like, that's a really ambiguous term, but so that's one of the things. Referrals and mediation, so recommending resolution of community relations issues through the commissioners. Community partnerships, so working with maybe businesses, government, media, nonprofits on maybe their events or education or accessibility to services, things like that. And then ideally encouraging data-driven assessment of what's going on in the county, so we can maybe advise on what might be helpful. So, that's what we're authorized to do. Is any of that, or any of those things surprising to anybody? Or things we didn't know we were able to do or should be thinking about?
I just feel like we have a lot more oomph than I thought we did.
Mhm. Yes. Are there things on here that you feel like we aren't doing? That we have the ability to do?
I guess, whenever I think about like recommendation or like resolution for community issues, I think that a big component of that is a reliance on what's reported. And I think I can think of maybe a couple of instances of, kind of jumpstarting a conversation about a YMCA in our community, or about the pesticides that had killed a lot of the plant life that was adjacent to one of the roads before. I feel like we don't get much of that input, which it seems like if that is number 2 on our list of things of kind of our charge, I would like to see that maybe a bit more utilized or promoted or whatever it might take.
I think that part of that is that people don't even know that
Absolutely.
this exists.
I agree.
Mhm.
Any other thoughts on these? Mandate, what authorized to do?
I guess I have a question,
Mhm.
because I think too, like bringing the community in is like, great, we would be a great resource, but what can we do to help them? Like, we can bring these to the commissioners, but what can the commissioners change? What's their purview, so to speak? If we can present that, like, here's what we can do and here's our power, so that normies can understand.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yep. So what is our power?
Mm.
Well, I mean, I think you said, bring resolutions and bring things to the commissioners that you would like to see changed or added or encouraged. Those are options. I mean, because the commissioners aren't, I mean, while they try to look at a large number of things, it's difficult to hone in on some of these specifically. So, and I think we found out, I mean, when we first started, there are, on the health side of things, there are needs for people in the area health-wise, and how do they even make contact to get those resources? I mean, we had Ohio Valley Resources come in, and they have some of that, but how many people, I mean, even bringing them in and talking about it, how do we get that out to folks? We've tried to, on the county website, to put up those links for Ohio Valley and what they're offering, but still, people need to know that that's there. I mean, I think we've talked, going to different events and trying to kind of let people know where this is an option to either find out information or find resources or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy.
Mm-mm.
I think I would be honest about my ignorance about, like, I have a general sense of what a commissioner is, but not necessarily in terms of like an understanding of what that scope of responsibility is. And so I'm wondering if,
I mean, we're kind of like mayors.
Yeah, that's what
Mayors of the county.
right,
Okay.
There's 3 of us instead of just 1. We don't, so we are the executive and the legislative side of things, and then council is the.
and so in some ways y'all are divided by region, and in some ways you're divided by areas of expertise and interest.
Well, so in that division, we have to live in a certain area of the county.
Okay,
So I'm the lower district, and then there's the middle district and the upper district, but everybody in the county votes for you. So it's not like with the council district, only that person that's in that district can vote for that person. And so, and we don't, there are some counties where commissioners deal with their district and nothing else, and we've decided that's not beneficial to any of us, so we, you know, if someone calls in with a complaint, usually if it's our area, we get the call. But, if it's doing things in the county, we'll all kind of work together to do those sorts of things, and we have different strengths, and that's helpful,
Absolutely.
so,
I benefit from like watching one of the streams of your meetings, just so I could like have a sense of like, what is the business that's brought
Sure.
up on a regular basis versus like a special topic that would be of high importance to you all.
they're on the same channel, this will be posted to,
Exactly. I
so,
didn't know where to find it, for
Yeah.
sure.
Tripoli County, Indiana.
Or they meet over there, we can go live.
Well, yeah, government meetings is the,
We show up and sit in these chairs or those chairs or wherever there's the audience.
oh, yeah, I mean, we're
Oh my
over
gosh,
in the other, we have the comfortable chair since there's only three of us. The council meets in here because there's seven of them.
I really feel we need a redistricting. We need to be the cool district.
Cool.
Hanoverians are the cool.
I don't like the term lower.
Right?
So, maybe we get you, they have,
That's a concern I have as a citizen.
Garden level district, right?
So what are the districts then? So you say lower, that is,
so, it's interesting, it's a lot, the west side, so the city of Madison and that is, there's a couple outcroppings of that, but that's the middle district. And so I'm from the west, if we went to like, Clifty Drive west and south of 256 to a point, that's me, and then like, I think it may be before you get to 3, I don't know the exact line, that goes up to like deputy. And then, so north and, north of the city, that's the upper district, and that goes all the way
oh,
to the east side, and then, like Milton Township, so Brooksburg and things like that. But, the middle district is, I mean, there are some, because, you know, Bobby Little's the middle district, he lives in Rikers Ridge, so that's part of it as well, but it is kind of focused on the, I guess I said Madison Township and.
gotcha.
Thank you.
It's supposed to be split up by, population. We haven't looked at that recently, although I think they're gonna encourage us to do so, so they may change a little bit, but, you couldn't split, certain like, townships, you couldn't put something down the middle of a township, you have to take all or nothing of it and then look at those, so. Yeah.
Cool, well, that's helpful. Okay, all right, so now we're gonna go into, now that we have like an idea of what we're allowed to do.
I mean,
and what we're supposed
what
to
I
do.
can also do is there's some little like cheat sheets on what a commissioner should do, and I can send that out to everyone so you have an idea,
That'd be
and,
great.
and the council as well, so you have an idea what they do.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Appreciate that, helpful. So now that we kind of know that and have things you can look at too to get more information, I want to go into a mini vision kind of think through process. And so, what I want us to think about is, okay, if in 3 years, this commission is doing what it should be doing those things well, what is a headline that you'd like to see in the local paper about our impact? So that's kind of the mini vision, is what would that headline be? So I want you to take a few minutes and think by yourself of like, what would the headline be based off of what we know we can do, should do? What would the headline be in 3 years if we're doing our job well? And just come up with however many you can come up with, whatever you think. Right, do folks have some things? Okay, now find a partner. And share the ones you've come up with, see if you need to combine some or rework or whatever, and then come up with one with your partner that you like best.
Oh, we don't have to move.
I can tell you that, I don't know if I know that. Such a great deal.
So
I was like, so this was like a headline.
In general.
Jefferson County was voted
In specific.
top 20 progressive historic counties to watch in Indiana. So we should be on the list, merging the future and the past. Slow. Slow, more, it really is, I feel like when I moved here 22 years ago, it was like. It's like, is this really where I wanna live at forever? Now I'm like,
And then my
I will
second
never
one is
right, and I want that, you want people to.
This community better.
I want our kids to.
barriers
And invest.
and hopefully with a focus on equity and
Anything.
Be able to, yeah, I agree.
And also, I feel about.
And to do that, I mean,
So how
you
would you
said
like
Mitch
to?
could be on this, but that doesn't mean getting that recognition. And, there are certain things that we want to continue to broaden
But I was
that
thinking through like,
recognition.
as a person
I
who.
mean, there are a number of people that will come here and visit like that.
Like I think our organization.
But kind of making that a little
Anybody could go
broader in there,
What
in the areas.
so like, qualify.
I just love the story of like,
Hanover's.
Matter of nation.
Mhm.
Not
The-
Yeah.
Yeah, easy way.
You
There's probably so many.
Cool.
people that have
Correct.
this
I probably
amount
know more
that we
about
do.
like the
And I
Hanover.
get it, I understand, because when we moved to the doctor.
And I would.
The doctor in Carrollton told us, you have a family, you don't
Which
want
I
to
could
build
see.
or live in
Well, I'm
Carrollton, you
not-
want
I'm not
Madison.
sure, honestly.
It's way more your style.
Help on this
And then-
without.
So if I want people to see like, yes, this is a place I want our families to grow up. Because
So what you said,
grandmas and grandpa. You see this?
guys, I really want
I
to.
come
The best.
here thinking like, I mean,
To it.
so Megan, I'm in Maryland.
HRC
And,
partners
I
with.
could say I
The
agree
Army,
to
she was
that.
teaching.
Well,
I got out.
categorize
My boss looks at
don't know
me,
that
you know,
anybody
so
figured that.
I had to look around.
Um,
My parents lived in Clarksville, but you know, they bought a house that they had.
Like that, like,
Working in Carrollton.
is that.
Um,
I thought-
I was really leaving it up to her to pick the place that she could. She was gonna be with the kids more. Important and stuff.
I do like the idea, I like the
Right.
organization.
So I don't know if
I have
It
to that
was.
too.
But like
Carrollton had it.
So yeah, I agree with that. Just thinking about that.
Madison had the lows, and that's what sold it to me, and she a bigger town.
Where do you
I didn't know anything, but small towns, this had to be the bigger of the.
Doubles.
And it's just so to watch it, it would be neat to see.
Because I imagine.
Say to families,
Barriers,
what brings
knowing what building to get
we
to.
love this here.
Sure, where do I park in the middle of a business day?
Well, I mean, I think this is life, but expanding those
So like, I'm
opportunities
curious, potentially, there could be ways in which we
to get that input.
give them like,
But also-
this is a one-stop shop. We'll have a shuttle, I'll pick you up here, take care
I
of
mean,
that.
so, we did.
Do our own.
We're gonna do this all.
Yeah. It's like, our whole conversation about how much we love Jefferson.
But I
County
would say
cares.
I really like the fact that you honed in on the like.
We did our, the new website.
But I think that the visibility, belonging, and
Show the
are things
beauty
that I
of
might.
Jefferson
Yeah.
County.
Uh,
Still got to check.
So what I think we could do is
where
where I talk about-
So what we're.
In some cases, you know, that's we kind of, there's so many other things.
No, I have some
I
friends
just come
coming
from and
from
said health, housing.
Cincinnati on
Oh,
Monday.
resource
and they
availability,
do not come out.
inclusivity and accessibility.
And I was like, it's
Um,
very, 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 very rural, like just
addressing
that. You're
discrimination.
gonna be in the middle of nowhere seeing cows and then all of a sudden
Now that
come
was
across this bridge.
What-
and I'm like, and you'll never wanna leave.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
That's Jefferson County, and that's,
The arts.
I don't know how.
Yeah, I would know where.
It's where you are.
Yeah, exactly. And I was wondering, thinking about that.
I'm invested, I'm invested, like, yeah, and it just gets better and better and better, and I wonder too, like, every town says this, what we've done, like, this town has done. You know, like, that we have our massive, beautiful families now, it's just like this better, but I don't know how we continue to go. Here's what we're doing. Yes, we do have.
I oversee, placing our students on campus.
And I think maybe that's one of the things that we put in the,
2 student staffs,
in the
our tech
strategic
program.
plan work. And
And
figure out
also
how
wonder if
to,
there was a
get
way.
that
for us to
information
look
out.
at other layers.
I think we have some things in
Yeah.
websites,
And it's
stuff
just,
we have to be audited.
Back
With the data, is it track how many hits we get on our website? Yeah. Is it being?
Also, whatever we curate.
It's early
like,
on.
it grows.
Probably not as much anymore. but,
Yeah.
If you're like, just.
Right.
I graduated in 22 and like there's.
It's just amazing.
Right. So, but you can help us. And help us, start, maybe figure out what things are doing well and what
I was
things,
like,
and, you know, use that as the focus. Making that, or using that, making sure that gets.
Well,
It's hard, like, I think our best resource is just telling us like you do, at like, it's a flashlight, meet people where they are, right? That's gonna be our best resource, is our,
Right.
hey, if you've got concerns, here's our card.
Right. And it's something, I mean, you know, and jobs and things, and I don't do that quite as much, but I mean, people come to you, and a lot of people come to you, and it's a great way to start a conversation. So,
We are allowed to like pass out like
Yep.
the QR codes
That would be a great
at like
idea.
the
Something that
voting.
we did,
So is that
this
like
committee
the thing?
things, we table,
so
kind
be
of
careful.
table,
You-
I brought resources.
Artists?
I can't remember what.
But
What would you value?
But we had a night where we were in a conference.
No, you couldn't be inside, obviously.
Right.
Right now, we're gonna hand out. What if, if you 50 people, like, what are you gonna hand out? You can do that, well,
I can tell
you know,
I just thought maybe.
yeah, that's another, they're,
Yeah.
they're coming to you.
They're coming to us, show up where they are.
Right.
So. What could that be?
You know, those are, really taking advantage of those and getting that information, because I mean, it really, a lot of what we want to do and things that we know, it just needs to get
Like a.
publicized. and people know that it's another thing.
Got it, yeah.
It's just also needs to see, okay, where we just an idea. You know, because we go like access website, like, we're moving forward, we're showing up in communities. So.
Grants to people.
I feel like another.
I did have a question about like.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah.
So let's talk about communities and just. I know, yeah. I am worried about too, we're willing conversations that I hear from my people are hesitant because we're already in maternity desert and hospital desert. And then with like right here,
I'm not certain, so Katie had
and
used to be
just
on.
like a Band-Aid.
I think that's a good way to frame that.
Has a seat,
Well,
they don't have an ICU.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think it exists anymore, but I don't
Is
know.
Madison same? I mean, that's our,
Dissolving. I get that like.
it's terrifying.
Specific
It's
stuff.
terrifying, and the job I do is even scarier because I don't know about services. You know, what I mean?
First one.
Yeah, I know, they're amazing so much of that. And I don't want people to choose home birth because that's the option, that's not safe.
So that's why.
So, yeah, I have a constituent going,
I knew.
please, Madison, think of,
I knew a couple.
but again, I know that it's not. Oh. No, that's right.
It's been a very sad. I
It's
mean,
all-
I have lived here for over 30 years, not one thing that's been good.
Yeah, there needs, and there,
They were long.
some hard conversations that need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's, and I don't know if that's us, but I do know
And one of the things
that
is,
people are gonna ask us, they're gonna come to us, you know, who's going to be the trigger for
Okay.
if this does happen, if this does occur.
And I have.
And this is, again, that's,
Some of the things that.
these are things that we have to.
Yeah.
My husband, he's like, every time you go to class, you come back a little wasted.
And then the,
Yeah.
you know, the higher level of like.
Yeah, I think, I was biggest thing, I think I said in summary of what,
And she really.
I suppose it's like there's not a resource. address some probably
That was
want
her-
a
that was the
discussion.
very end of her-
Right.
Institutional.
Get that.
Crazy.
But it is, I mean, unfortunately, right now,
That.
a lot of people who need that kind of help end up in jail, and that's not a place to get any help. But unfortunately, there's so few resources.
Get people to.
And even if there are, it's the compliance, it's, even if you do have meds, it's not an immediate
Let's get
fix.
people to it, you know? Make it
And
bigger.
kind of what we talked about all along, that people need to know that's available.
Yes.
And,
We're just chatting how much we love Jefferson County.
It's a great place. Okay. I think DJ and I were the last ones to wrap up what we were talking about. So now what we're gonna do is share kind of what you talked about. If you came up with one thing you love, or if they just sort of went in a million different directions, that's okay too. And just say what those are. Should we start?
Sure.
Okay. do you want me to?
Yep. Yours is
Okay.
good.
I kind of would love to see that Jefferson County is voted in the top 20 progressive historic counties in Indiana to watch. We're kind of on a watch list. Like, we can combine, we're merging the future and the past.
Progressive historic counties,
In Indiana, I don't know if there is any, but we are
but
one.
that's the dream.
Yeah.
That's the vision.
We bring the old and the new and we merge it. So I was talking to Dave about one of the reasons I moved here from, we had a choice of Carrollton or Madison, and Madison had to be a bigger town, right? Because it had a Lowe's. Like, it was, they both had a Lowe's and a Kroger, or a Walmart and Kroger's, but Madison had the Lowe's. And it just really has been like that. It's been like, it gets better and better every year I've lived here. So, and I just think we can continue to do that of showcasing, hey, Madison is innovative. Hey, Madison has these things. And yet you can stroll down the street and go to the soda fountain. So,
And we both said, I mean, she's been here 22 years and I'm 32 years, so obviously when we moved in, it's a place that's kept us here and.
yes.
So,
And I'd kind of be curious too, why families choose that. And so we were talking about, again, meeting people where they are. So I know like early on, Dave said he would meet people at like the trash sites. And then I brought up like, are we allowed to pass out like, hey, this is who we are at like voting sites? And as long as we're bipartisan, right? So, that would be something too, just say, hey, why are you here? And this is us and here's how we can talk. And then, okay, this is other stuff. This is other stuff.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, I can, or if you want to.
I felt like mine was a little bit more specific than what hers was, and I didn't know if I was on the right track. Okay, in my dream, our headline would be related to that Jefferson County has accessible transportation for all, affordable housing, and access to nutritious food. And that we have cultural events that provide education that helps to support collaboration across barriers. And that we utilize the community assessment to drive creative and inventive solutions for inclusion.
And she's correct, mine was a little bit more vague. But I said we strengthen coordination of health, housing, and social support systems in Jefferson County and the surrounding areas. And then something that Susan said that I really loved was, and I just created this just now. I said HHRC is an advocate of the gap.
So I was telling her, I heard of the leadership of Jefferson County, and I have learned a lot in there. And one of the things this past week was the Bethany Legacy. I really didn't know a lot about them. So I learned a lot about what they were doing, but they were talking about like a lot of these things. They want to give grants to people that are driving some of this. And I feel like there's other organizations in our community that are also have similar goals that if we could either partner with them or figure out where the gaps are, we could be an advocate for those gaps.
Since they're categorized, like people know about that resource, sorta. Like,
Sure.
a lot of people think it's just for older people to go to their doctor's appointments, but anybody can utilize that resource. And a lot of people don't know how to, or who to call, or that they have a website that you can look up. So.
BJ, do you want to talk about what we talked about a little bit?
Yeah, I think some of the things that we had kind of hit on was, how if a big portion of our mission is to be a recipient of information of concern, that visibility is something that needs to be worked on. And so part of what we had talked about was, what if we did some kind of like belonging campaign for the county in a way, and I guess the parallel that I drew was like, as a person who's not very enmeshed and aware of what the arts community in Madison is up to at all times, I do know that because of Arts Here Now, I know where I would start to find that information. And I'm curious if there was a way that we could try and get a visibility or something out there that would associate people with, hey, this is a place where I could go to begin to figure out kind of health issue, like a community health concerns, or I guess removing bias that I'm seeing, or whatever that might be. And then do you want to talk about the other part that we just?
We also talked about, so visibility was one, then we talked about amplification as sort of the other, and so amplifying the resources that already exist. So once we have a platform that people know exists, then how do we amplify that? And so TJ had this brilliant idea about, so similar to what you say, bringing the resources to the people or vice versa, and that also ties into with the idea of transportation. But we were talking about how we have at Hanover an immunization clinic that is free immunizations. We do it 2 or 3 times a year. It is free and community members don't come. Why? Like, can we bring people to it? And so thinking about, you know, we have the Jefferson Together grant that purchased shuttles, the trolleys, it purchased one, helped with another. And so can we utilize that resource and tie into that Jefferson Together too, to bring people to our campus for resources or other things like that. And so I really liked that idea. So visibility and amplification.
Yeah.
Okay. So based off of that, we need to come up with one simple shared sentence.
Brilliant guy.
HHRC. HHRC will serve Jefferson County as an advocate for the gaps. Should we add something about visibility in some way, right? So advocating, that gets us the part of amplifying, being out there doing whatever it is, but how do we get people to know about it?
Amplifying the services and bridging the gap. Words. But like amplifying services, because that's what we're doing, so we're
What she
community
said hers was
resources.
vague. I think hers as a headline would be good to hit
Mhm.
to give a little, because you say the gaps, but that is open
Mhm.
to a lot of different things, and we could do that, but I think we want to focus on a few things and what.
Okay, so say those things again. So if I put, let's say HHRC will serve Jefferson County as an advocate for the gaps, amplifying services such as.
Transportation.
Yeah,
I mean, the things that you had in yours.
Yeah, that were great.
Yeah.
Food, like the food.
Yeah, I said accessible transportation, affordable housing, access to nutritious food.
And I actually like your statement around using community assessment to drive creative solutions. Like I thought that assessment piece is a big part of.
And there's organizations that are doing those, so if we can just connect with those, then we can figure out, like, where is the need, where is the gap?
Yeah, what was the language on that?
If,
using.
the one I wrote down was community assessment to drive creative solutions. Is that?
I said driving creative and inventive solutions.
Okay. Transportation, nutritious food, affordable housing, there's something else. Health, was it health related?
How about like health resources? So that can encompass like mental health resources, health resources.
And maybe throwing in a belonging kind of word
Yeah,
there.
yes, belonging.
This doesn't sound like it's gonna be a short sentence.
We're gonna
That's all right.
We're gonna dissect it.
jam it all in here. Figure out where.
It's where you use chatty and say, you know,
Make
should we
this
say
short.
condense
Condense this.
and sound professional. Without the parentheses.
Here's what I have and figure out where belonging could go. HHRC will serve Jefferson County as an advocate for the gaps, amplifying services such as access to transportation, nutritious food, affordable housing, and health resources, using community assessment to drive creative and inventive solutions.
Could it be like instill belonging through and then like
Ooh,
the
yes.
transportation, the access, like. Cause I feel like
Yes.
meeting people's like Maslow's needs are like the basics that someone would need to be able to start thriving.
Mhm. And we want people to feel welcomed and belonging and want to set roots up in Madison.
Okay. Serve Jefferson County as advocate for the gaps, amplifying services which instill belonging, such as access to transportation, nutritious food, affordable housing, and health resources.
Or maybe the goal of belonging is reached through those things. Or is that?
That GBT's going off there, come on.
Say it again.
I mean, like, belonging through these
Through.
strategies. Or, I mean, y'all can disagree with.
No,
that,
that's right.
but
I think that's right. Amplifying services which instill belonging. Wait,
Are you saying instill belonging through and then those things?
Yes, I don't know if that is,
amplifying services which instill belonging through access, but I think. Okay, let me read it and then tell me if it's saying what you need to say. HSRC will serve Jefferson County as an advocate for the gaps, amplifying services which instill belonging through access to transportation, nutritious food, affordable housing, and health resources, using community assessment to drive creative, inventive solutions.
I have
That's
no
what I
idea what
said.
anything said.
but
Like, I'm gonna be real,
Yeah.
like, if I were a normie, I'd be like, I don't, what. do
Well,
we
this
do?
doesn't, this isn't gonna be out there. This is.
This is us,
This is for us.
okay.
This is for us.
I think keep it like you have it, send it out to us.
Okay,
let us
and we'll keep
gnaw-
chewing on it.
gnaw on it for a month and then come back. But I think, yeah,
Okay, DJ, I'm gonna send you what we have for now for you to
Okay.
pop in there and then we can chew on it. Great. Okay. Next step. Now we need to pick based off of that. Let's say 2 or 3 focus areas. I put BSGs, that's big scary goals, that's what I call them.
Over here.
Val calls them wigs. Wildly.
Insane.
Yeah, that's what most people think, yeah. Wildly inventive goals or something, I don't know, whatever.
Love that.
Wildly, but, yeah, okay.
So let's pick 1, 2, well, maybe two that we'll focus on for the next year. So everybody, we're just kind of gonna go around and say what is a focus area that you think we should focus on.
Combining all the resources in one central resourceful.
Like a resource repository, we have it all.
so I'm gonna say a sentence that is. getting at like the gist of it. Like I worked at a college once or a university and their like framework for employees in their division of student affairs is that like our thing was, it is my job was like that slogan, where it's like, regardless of if it's in your scope of responsibility or area, if someone asks you a question, like we will find where to connect you to get that question answered. And I'm wondering if there was a way that we could be a place of like, if you don't know where to start, and we don't know either, we can figure it out and try to find who you would connect to.
We're like the original Ask Jeeves.
Yes.
You were human AI. And I love that, like, we are real people, and that's a
Yeah.
lot what people want to come to our county for, is because we are real
Mhm.
people. You're gonna see friendly faces and, yeah, connect with us.
So how would you boil that into this, like?
And I guess it's kind of in that like consolidation of information, but I think that in order for us to do that effectively, we need to be pretty well versed on the offerings in the community, and so I am kind of torn between that, like, how do we word that as like a instilling I'll think on that for a second.
Okay, you think on it.
Okay.
What do you think?
Visibility, whether.
Not change my visibility, I want to.
Via social media, being out at, the different festivals that are going on in the summer, just getting people to those resources. That same thing.
I like visibility, but I also think that we have to know what's out there to start with and what they're doing and what they're working on before I feel like we can advocate or help connect people. Because I think one of the things I've learned over the last couple of months is there's a lot of resources in our community that people just don't know about.
Yep, right. Yep, that we don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very good. So you think resource?
I mean, I think, you know, that the end goal. Visibility, but it's gonna take time and work on our part to be able to have the right, the understanding where they need to go. Not that we can't start now, there are some things that we know,
Yeah.
but to continue to grow in those areas. And I think the organizations that have been to Leadership Jefferson County are probably a great place to have, okay, here's a list of organizations. I don't know if you've got them all written down or they gave you a list, but here, let's start inviting some of them here and figure out what are they doing? I mean, and we've done that a little bit, but make that more of a priority for us.
And we've gone on like field trips
Right.
to locations.
Right,
too.
and
We-
Stephanie was doing that, chat.
OVO. Yeah, we did the OVO and then we did the chat, coffee chat.
Right, coffee chat with things like that, to give people an opportunity outside of the meeting to kind of make those connections.
Mhm.
Cause, I mean, I think like you said, I mean, there's so much out there, but people just don't know that it's available. And, you know, I mean, you see it in, if it's a government organization, you go to a government website, what's it like? Oh, it's terrible. And so people are like, yeah, I'm done, maybe it's in the door, I don't know. You know, yeah, we don't really don't want people coming to us, so we'll make it complicated enough that they just get.
I want the youth to run our social media campaign. The youth, like, I really do feel like we could be like really cool. Like,
Well, Lauren is youthful and savvy when it comes to social media. I am just saying.
no pressure.
Funny.
But it is, I mean, truly, like, when we're talking, like, when you're talking about websites, they are
forever
so
on there.
I believe in you, Lauren. You run some social media for our office that is great. I'm just saying.
You know, she just got welcomed in not long ago. Let's not scare her away.
She's not scared, I know.
Uh,
I know what she's capable of.
oh.
Oh.
Look
Okay.
what time it is.
I'm not making you do anything, we'll get there.
So it's like really our main focus really needs to be is like, let's figure out our resources and really go, okay. how do we, who, when, where is there even a community resource website even already that exists?
I guess, because what I'm thinking about potentially is some sort of, like, I know that we have very active community gossip pages.
Oh,
But
yes.
if there was, but like, if there was like a way for us to just be able to be like, almost just in a newsletter format of like, here's things that we know about, if there's other things that you think
Yeah,
kind of hit on these goals, like, we'd love to include them and just kind of start some sort of
like,
either
hey, like,
newsletter
or like if there's festivals or like small like car thing,
Mhm.
you know, or like the library does that, where they're like, here's our monthly newsletter. Like, here's the HHRC newsletter of, here's community events.
Here's all the resources.
And it's a resource
Events.
list of, you know, here's when the food pantries are, all on one page.
Wasn't that the idea of the clearinghouses? They were going to
Mm.
centralize all these, I knew
Yes.
they have a newsletter that they send out with information about stuff going on in the community.
And I don't wanna reinvent the wheel, and I think that's the most important thing, is like, what already is in place?
Yeah, and how do we not like step on toes?
And how do we even find what's already in place?
So we need,
It's
we'll have
because
to
that's,
do research.
yes.
And maybe rather than all of us doing every one, maybe we pick
Split it
certain
up.
areas and try to do it that way. So I don't know if you have I'm gonna point to you since you're, but the list of folks that you went, that it came and presented to you. And that might be it, then we can kind of split that up among people and start delving into, because most of them do have some sort of, they either have a website or some sort of social media presence, and that we can start kind of bringing that stuff together. And, you know, maybe that's in the end what we end up with is and you have to make sure all the links stay good, but you know, we bring all that stuff together. So if people want to go look for something, well, we know we can find it here, and here are, you know, yeah, we're not gonna have everything housed there, but we'll have links to where that
Mhm.
information is housed. And,
And we will understand too, of like,
Well,
oh,
we'll
okay,
learn.
we will have understood it.
Mhm. I like that. So it sounds like our number one priority is knowledge of resources. Does that seem right? Number one. And then once we have that, moving into visibility. Does that seem good? Okay, so then we will focus on those throughout the next year. My thought is, tell me if you think this makes sense, is for next meeting that if Susan, you could bring your list of people who came and presented to you that you think would be helpful for us, and then if others bring ideas of things we think would be helpful for us to all hear from on resources. We bring those, and then next time sort of plan which ones we want to hear from. And then start talking about how do we divvy up looking at what's out there in terms of all the resources.
So what does that look like for summer festival season for like events? Because then what are we?
I know, that's what I've been sitting here thinking about it,
Like, do we just say, hey, cool, like, more like a campaign to bring members in of like, this is what our goals are?
like,
I'm
Hmm.
curious if our participation at this point would be more valuable of like.
Showing up.
Going to all the
Event
things.
going, yeah.
Gather information and just be like,
Hey, who's
is there
here?
a way, like, are there certain things that are public and open to everyone that you would like amplified more and just.
yeah,
Reconnaissance.
reconnaissance, instead of being a resource when we don't even know what they are yet.
Right. Look at us.
That seems right. How do people feel about that? Yeah, okay, so we're gonna start going to stuff, that's what I hear. So the agenda item would also be what events should we be going to and who was gonna go to one.
I feel like anything and everything that's your vibe, like if it's a community event, if it's a music event, get out there, because these are the resources we're gonna be pulling together, and every opportunity I talk to somebody, I'm gonna hear why I always ask, why do you like Madison? Why are you here?
Yep.
So,
I like it. Okay. It's 6:55. I can't even believe we got to this point in this amount of time. Okay. So. the last thing I wanna do is a quick round robin of one word or phrase for how you're feeling about our direction now that we've done this today.
Inspired.
Excited.
Better.
Sharpened.
Mhm.
Encouraging, I mean, to see, I mean, once again, 32 years, 22 years, I mean, but to see that continued interest in what's here, you know, it could be up to 32 years, like, yeah, I'm going, you know, but it's, and for me as a commissioner, it's encouraging, because that's, you want people to want to be here. I mean.
Bob, as our honorary member, are you inspired?
How do you feel?
You're here every meeting invested in us.
Yeah, we've tried to get Bob to speak at meetings, and he's held out all of the.
Listener. I feel like you are the best resource though, because you do see a lot of the community needs. So if you ever need to write in, we would love an anonymous tip. Thank you for what you do.
I just feel like we have a path forward. That I feel like I can be. I feel like we all can have some ability to contribute and do something, where I felt like I don't know.
Sure, I mean, it is I mean, you said focused or sharpened, but I mean, it is that, to be able to hone in on some things that, yeah,
Yeah,
some things that we can do.
Yep.
I'll get Sarah to come as well. We'll make her come and talk about the other, because she'd be a good resource too, because she has talked to me, that's how I know a lot of these things about the leadership of Jefferson County. She's like,
It's a great program.
Yeah, I participated in it about 3 years ago. It was a really good one.
Yeah, really good.
no, see.
all right. Back to the agenda. Action items for the next meeting.
All right, what I have is that Dave will send a mini cheat sheet with detail about the commissioner's role to the group.
I'll include the county council as well.
Commissioner role and county council. And then for Lindsay, I guess, one that was left over from last month that I think might need adjustment was that you'll make talking points for June community
Yep.
events at this meeting.
Nope.
And so
We have a new,
I'll take that off. I think so far that was the only like, and maybe, if you could. And I'll make it for both of us, we could bring our HHRC materials so that we can kind of at least have a starting point of list of organizations. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. DJ.
right? Okay, future meeting dates. How is everybody for May 28th? That will be our next one.
What we
I
do is.
may or may not be there.
No.
Babies.
Okay, yeah, you never know. Never know. Everybody else good for the 28th? Okay, and then June 25th. I know vacations get going there, but
As of right now, no plans, but no promises either.
okay, so we'll plan on now, those are still on and we'll go from there.
Yeah, the 28th is a commissioner meeting, so.
Oh, it is a commissioner meeting.
Yeah,
Well,
that
now let's move
should-
that.
That's the main one.
Well, yeah, we got a month between commissioner meetings, so
Oh,
it's
so
the 14th and the 28th that month. So,
we should be the 21st.
sure.
Is everybody, can everybody do 21st?
Of May or
Yeah,
June?
May.
Right.
That might even be better.
Okay, I have it on the calendar for the 28th, the one, and you put it on there. Can you adjust it on the
yeah,
invite?
yeah.
Great. All right, so 21st. Great. All right, any other new business? Great. I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
We're out. Yay! 7 PM on the dot.